This drawing is very ugly. I thought it was super good when I made it, but luckily I came to my senses and I think we can do better. So let's redraw her and make her cute. But first, welcome. If you're new here, hi, my name is Zai and I am a sort of okay artist. I like drawing and I like making videos and I am bad at both of those things. But my favorite type of video to make is videos where I redraw my crusty, old, ugly art. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, it's redrawing time, but first we have to roast this drawing. Obviously, we can't just start drawing without pointing out those nasty flaws in the original. I made this drawing on March 4th, 2023. As I'm doing this painting, it's December, but this video is not coming out till March, so just pretend that's when I drew it. It's been like 2 years almost, so let's get started. We're gonna roast this piece just for fun. Her eyes are so ugly. I think I was using the trapezoid eye tutorial from Coolin, and it just looks absolutely awful. Her eyelashes are so ugly. They're not even pointing in the right direction. Eyelashes are so easy to draw. It's literally just 2 lines and I messed it up. Her eyebrows, no, they're not even shaped like eyebrows. It's a thick line with a tiny line that doesn't even match the direction of the eyebrows. I'm not gonna claim to be an eyebrow expert, but those are crusty and ugly AF. Her hair, super ugly. She doesn't even have a hairline at all. Also, last thing before we paint over her is her lips. They're way too low on the face, and they look like that. Yeah, no. Okay, now it's time for the critique. I'm going to be using the liquify tool, the transform tool, and the brush just to make the anatomy and rendering better. It's best to work from large down to small, so we're using the liquify brush first to adjust the biggest pieces of the drawing, making the skull more accurate by flattening it out, pushing the shoulders together and giving them that little bump for the clavicle. Then we have to focus on the focal point of the piece, her eyes. Her ugly eyes. I give her thicker eyelash lines with this purple color for some reason, and then I used the liquify tool to push the eye into like a better position. I used to have a very angular style, and while it was certainly unique, it was not good in the slightest. Next, I adjusted her chest, and my best tip for shading the boobas is to put the darker color on the outside, not in the middle, unless you have like a really harsh, direct light source. I don't have that in this piece. In fact, I don't even have a light source in this piece. So the darker color goes on the outside, and I match her dress up so that it's not laying flat. Next, I adjusted the hair because, oh my god, what was that hair? It's just atrocious. I used the smudge brush to paint it, but I used like this horrible line effect for some reason, and I thought it looked good. Like I was doing that and I was like, wow, that looks so good. It looks like hair. No, it doesn't. Don't do that. Don't do what I did. I also adjusted her face shape a bit and moved her lips higher on her face. I'm sure everyone is aware of the half rule where you put the eyes halfway down on the face, the nose halfway between the eyes and the chin, and the mouth between the nose and the chin. But it should actually be a bit higher up than that, as the chin is generally wider than the cupid's bow area. I also re-rendered her lips to make them more juicy, and then I fixed her nose because what the hell was that original nose? It's 2 floating nostrils and a shadow that doesn't match any of the other shadows in the piece. What even was I doing? Like, what was I even thinking with that? And then we had a few more like finishing details to the face, outfit, and hair, and I think that's pretty good for like a liquify version. But the new painting looks even better, so let's talk about that. Now, this piece isn't going to be quite the same as the original because, like I said, the pose and expression are very boring. Her shoulders are perfectly square and she's looking straight ahead. Boring! We're going to tilt her shoulders and head away from each other a little bit, but just a little bit. We don't want to go too overboard. Now, as you can see, we're blocking in the big shapes first. For literal years, I refused to do this, and I would spend hours on every detail. So please just trust me when I say big shapes first. It will save your life. Not literally. The original colors have been changed just to add a little bit more contrast. This is the original piece in black and white. So little contrast. So little. There's like nothing there. That's not allowed. We gotta turn that up. So I made her hair a slightly darker shade of blue. That's it. That's all it took to take this piece from horrible to decent. Well, that and maybe 2 years worth of experience and learning basic knowledge of anatomy, and maybe the understanding that you should not use a crusty AF line brush for hair. Rendering is my favorite part of drawing, and I honestly thought it was everyone's, but apparently some people prefer line art. Line art. Line art. Why? Line art is actually hell. That's why my biggest tip for beginners is just don't do it. Don't do line art. It's really not a requirement. If you hate it, don't do it. Make your art how you want to make it. Join the fight against line art. Okay, well, I'm getting distracted. Back to the painting. I rendered her face a little bit, and then it was time for her outfit. The bubble sleeves are so insanely cute, and I wish I had a top like that, even though I would never wear it because my wardrobe consists entirely of cargo shorts. Yeah, I look like I play golf. Okay, moving on. She also has black lipstick because I absolutely love characters with black lipstick. It just looks so cute. And actually this is more of a dark blue, but that's the same thing, so whatever. I also did some experimenting with the lighting and shadows while I was rendering the hair, and I think it honestly came out really good. It's not very complex, and it low-key looks bad, but it was just drawing darker streaks in the hair and then going back in with the light. That's really all there even is to rendering. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about here. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. I just draw. It is what it is. And then after spending an hour on just the hair, I also had to add some strands to the hair just to make it look kind of messed up and cool. And it worked. It looks awesome. And I'm complimenting myself on it, knowing I'm going to look back on this video next year and physically cringe at the thought that I made this and thought it looked good. Fun. It looks better than the original. We can agree on that. And I swear if I see one comment saying that they like the original better, I'm going to riot because what are you actually talking about? Are you even seeing this? She has trapezoids for eyes. And speaking of eyes, let's render the eyes. Rendering eyes is maybe the funnest part of the drawing, and you can't convince me otherwise. Eyelashes specifically, I mean, look at it. It's very satisfying. And I know it doesn't look all there yet, but we're working on it. I promise it turns out. Don't you trust me? I'm a random stranger on the internet. And the internet is a place where no one would ever even think of lying, so really, I'm like really trustable. And then it's time for the hands. I am scared. I absolutely hate drawing hands, which is so ironic because, like, you draw with your hands and you can't draw hands. It's so weird. But anyway, I just used a tracing sketch from Ibis Payne's library, like I always do, because I don't know how to draw hands. And then I rendered it, and low-key, I feel like she would look so good with fingerless gloves, but I didn't give her any. And real quick, before we do the final comparison, let's talk about the problems in this drawing, just so we know what to fix. I'll give you a second to see if you see them before I talk about them. Okay, so her collarbones have highlights on the top, while her head is casting a cast shadow on her neck and torso. The lighter area should be on the other side of the collarbone. Her body and hair have backlighting, but the shadows on her face and hair don't represent backlighting because they're also in full lighting. There also seems to be top-down lighting for the hair, which is contradictory to the backlighting that is already there. In terms of anatomy, her nose and mouth are a bit too close for a stylized style. And we have a tangent with that one little strand of hair by her face. That's it for the critique, but feel free to comment your own critiques, and I will do my best to learn from those too. And we're done. I love how this painting came out. Here it is next to the original, the paint over, and the new one. It obviously looks way better, and I'm super proud of the progress I've made recently. It's not perfect. I'm not a professional artist, but I'm glad I've improved so much, and I'm gonna keep trying to improve for my whole life. Now, I hope you enjoyed my video. Have a great day. Bye.